Cool. Now we're going to step it up. We're going to take a blank piece of paper. If you have a sketchbook, please keep it all together. If you don't have a sketchbook, do not worry. We have sketchbooks coming for everybody for Q2. I am so excited. So for now, we're going to be using the biggest white sheet of paper that you have. So you can use 11.5, but make sure it doesn't have lines in it because it can get very confusing when you're doing these forms. And we're definitely going to need a lot of eraser for this. So if you didn't use an eraser when making your textures for your art chart, go get your eraser. It's going to be your best friend. And you can have multiple best friends. Your pencil can be your best friend. Orchids can be your best friend. It's totally cool. So blank piece of paper. We're going to need our pencil, our straight edge. So now what you're going to do is you're going to create a graph. You're welcome to use a ruler. You don't have to, because I don't want you spending too much time on this graph. I really want you spending time thinking about your cuboids and where the dark, medium, and light parts of your cuboid are. So you're going to create this. You're going to have your vertical lines and your horizontal lines. I have about 15 lines going down and 15 lines going across. And what you're going to do is you're going to create basically a goal sheet for yourself. Because when we have goals, you don't accomplish them right away. You gradually progress, right? And you develop smaller tasks, and then you check in with yourself like, I want to be a healthier person, perhaps. Perhaps that's a goal you have. And then you decide, what steps can I take to become a healthier person? Because it's not going to happen overnight. Most goals hardly ever happen overnight if they are high achieving goals. So let's always aim really high. So for this goal, let's say that I want to get 100% or straight A's by the end of the year. Right here, you're going to start with, today I am ... This will be your current status right here. So for example, one of them could be, today I am in blank grade. So what's your goal? When you get to the top of these stairs, what's going to happen? Are you going to graduate from middle school? Are you going to graduate from high school? Are you going to graduate from college? Are you going to get your master's? Are you going to get your doctorate degree? Are you going to start a business? Are you going to become a parent? Are you going to become a grandparent? Wow, so these goals are really up to you. Do you want them to be in the next year, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? That is your decision. But I want you to write down here what your current status is in relation to your goal. So let's say your goal is to become a grandmother. My goal goes up here. My goal is to become a grandmother, and I want you to write it down. And then here you're going to say, today, currently, your current status. Well, today I am a teenager or a pre-teenager, and I am focused on schoolwork. Perfect. Or I am focused on how to be a really good kid so that I can appreciate my grandchild. Pretty cool goal. All right. So you develop what your goals are, and you put your current status down here. Then you're going to start putting dots where you see your vertical and your horizontal lines intersect. So here I'm going to put a dot here, 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 here. Keep it going. Now, to draw steps, it's really easy, but you do have to concentrate, and that's what I love about this week's assignment. We're working on concentration and memory. So you're going to have to remember how many times are you going across and how many times are you going up. For my pre-algebra students, we're working on slopes. And for everybody else, you're going to be working on slopes. All right, so we're going to go up one, across one, up one, across one, up one, across one, up one, across one. The way I did mine is I did one shape at a time. So I went across 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I drew a rectangle like that. And then I skipped one and I drew another rectangle, but this time 3 dots across. So 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, and I drew my rectangle right on top of the other one. And the one above that is one less more. So we're going to go 1, 2, dots across, 1 up, and then here, 1 up, 1 across. So make your steps as high as you want. It could be 10 steps up, it could be 4. I want it to be at least 4 steps, and maximum, make it 10. Unless you have an enormous scroll piece of paper, or you're doing this on a wall, I think 10 is pretty good because you want space for your other cuboids. Okay, here's where things get really fun. You are going to draw a 45-degree angle or a diagonal line where your dots connect in a diagonal, and that is how we get a cuboid, also called a parallelogram, because all of these are parallel to each other. All right, they're going in the same angle, which is a 45-degree angle. So all of these 45-degree angles will go like this, okay? So you're going to draw, you can decide how many diagonal dots you want to go up. I went 1, 2, 3 dots up. All right, and then you're going to do the same thing for the top. What you did for the bottom of your rectangle, you're going to do for the top corner of your rectangle. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3. Okay, you're going to draw a straight line using a straight edge, and you're going to connect vertically and horizontally to get that corner of your cuboid. And you're going to do the same thing here. When you get this corner, you're going to move up 1, 2, 3 dots. You're going to move up 1, across 1, and you're going to connect the horizontal lines. But you first have to have this cuboid figured out. I'm sorry, you're going to have this shape figured out first. And then you're basically going to take the corners and you're going to move up 3 points diagonally. And then by the end of it, you're going to make sure you have very nice crisp lines. So make sure you use your pencil sharpener for this so that you have very clean edges. Okay? And then the best part is the eraser. So that's why we draw very lightly. And then you're going to erase all of your guidelines and your points that you're not using in between your stairs and on your shapes that are facing you. To draw this cool door or window or tunnel, I went 1 up, 1 across, 1 down, 1 across. So this is a square. And then I took one diagonal, I took the corner here. It's actually this line. If you continue it, you see it's the same line, right? But I erased it here. So this is going in, all of your diagonals are going in the same direction. You want to make sure of that when you draw your cuboid. And that's it. Once you draw all of them, you're going to start deciding which is your top, which is your side, and which is the darkest area where your shadows go. So my top, let's say, is here. This is where my sun is coming from. You can even draw a sun so that you remember where your top is. Okay? And I want that to be your lightest color. I suggest white or yellow. Now, let's say I have a medium color, like green, orange, or red. That would be great right here. So I'm going to draw everything here, boom, boom. And I'm going to color it in that medium color. And you can trace the side so that you remember. But before you start coloring, you have to erase all those lines in between, because with color pen, you'll see it. And remember to draw lightly. And then the third color will be your darkest one, and I recommend blue or violet. Yeah, those are going to be your two choices, blue or violet. Remember, blue is a primary, violet is a secondary, because you add red to blue to make it violet. And then I would take my violet or my blue, trace my final shape, and I would color that in. So you could even just do very little guys. Boom, 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 boom. And sometimes I don't even finish the shape. Just to play around, right? And sometimes I use my pencil just to lightly shade in where my middle color is. In this example, I used white as my lightest color, and I used yellow as my medium, and I used red as my darkest. So you can really play with this. And in this case, I used marker. So if you don't have color pencils, you can use marker, but I suggest if you're using marker not to have a light color and keep your markers medium to light. Draw your graph, draw the dots where the horizontal and vertical lines meet, and then I want you to very lightly with your straight edge start drawing horizontal lines, vertical lines, and then diagonal lines to connect the corners. Then you're going to have a lot of fun with your eraser and start to figure out with your eye, where does the top go? Where is the side? Where is the other side? Okay. 6th grade, I want you to create 3 cuboids. 7th grade, I want you to create 5 cuboids. 8th grade, I want you to create 7 cuboids.